and I'm going to try and fix some issues that were found on a Semrush audit. So let me start by looking at what he'd sent me over Skype. He gave me permission to show his website on a video. So I am gonna start with the simple and easy ones. His Semrush report says that he can't find the sitemap XML in the robot text file. This is easy enough to fix. So let's try and figure out what's wrong. So you can see I'm already on his website here. So I'm gonna just type this in, and I'm just gonna say, okay, let's do robots.txt. This is his robots.txt file, and in actuality, although Semrush can't detect it, the file is actually already set in his robot.txt file, and I'm gonna copy and paste this URL so you can actually see that the XML sitemap is being generated. Here it is. It doesn't really matter what this means, but it is working. So when you read a Semrush report, you should actually check that it's actually picking up the right information. This one is a false positive because the sitemap is actually already set. I don't know when. I do know when the Semrush report was generated. It was generated 3 days ago, but this has existed for a while. So I'm guessing Semrush isn't picking up the XML file, but that might just be because SEO plugins like Rank Math call it sitemap-index.html. And let me see that I've got it correctly set in here, which I think I just showed you that I did. But let's do that. So let's do robots.txt. I typed it in wrong. Yes, I did. Slash here. Sorry guys, this happened on live, so that's okay. So as you can see, this is actually working, and when I go to the link, it does have a sitemap. So that's one that's gone. I don't really have to check. The Semrush report might just be wrong about that. So the slow speeds I'm going to skip because that's a whole nother story that I can't just fix by changing something similar. Let's try. Let's try to fix a few other issues that are sort of evident, if that makes sense. So let's see. Now, I'll tell you a few that I'm going to skip just because it doesn't make sense to actually fix, if that makes sense. So let's start with this one. This one, where it says that the images don't have an alt attribute set, I can quickly fix because I do know he's using an SEO plugin called Rank Math that can sort of automatically do that. And again, if it's already done and it's not being picked up by the by Semrush, it just means that it can't, that's not reading correctly because it is a piece of software, so it might just not be picking up the dynamic alt tags that are being set. So let's go to Rank Math on the top here. I'm just going to open the dashboard in another tab so that I can not close the one page because I need that later. So let's go and see if image SEO is turned on. It is. I go to settings and I can already tell you that the title and alt tags are set, although Semrush isn't reading them correctly. And it shows you sort of a sample of what it would look like. So it would say broadcasters warehouse dash whatever the file's called, or in this case, broadcasters warehouse dash the number of pictures if it were a gallery, for example. But these are set. So again, Sorry about the sneeze, but these things happen on lives. So and I'm not gonna edit it because yeah, I'm doing this for like fun, so I'm not gonna edit that out, even though it's gonna your ears might burst. But yeah, um, so I'm skipping that as well because simply put, it just can't read that I have dynamically set um, alt tags for images. So it's just a matter of the tool not being able to pick up the dynamic value because it actually has to go into the image to generate the dynamic value, and that's just how most SEO plugins replace things. If you were going to do it manually, you would have to go here where it says, for example, media library, for example, don't know, okay, and then you would have to go, for example, to this image, and you would have to set alt text, which is what it's reading is empty, and that doesn't actually mean it's empty. It's just that it doesn't understand that rank math is going to come and generate an alt tag when I go to this image. So what we can do, I wish I knew which product this was actually, but I don't know if I'll be able to tell just by looking at it. Let's see if I go to the front end and see if these are actually being generated. So let's say that I'm on this page. I'm assuming one of the images that doesn't have a alt tag is this one. So if I go inspect here, it should in theory, right? You see, it does generate it. Here's the title tag and the alt tag. It's generated right here by rank math. Um, okay, it's automated based on the title or whatever it is that it's doing, but it is generated, so it doesn't actually mean that Semrush report is right. It just can't figure out that I'm dynamically generating them instead of adding them by hand. The only way to fix that would be to actually go and manually insert them, which is insane. That's why you use tools like rank math to fix these kind of things. So the 420 pages that are blocked from crawling are, let's see if I can. So okay, so the sitemap thing is gone. The 6,000 links that don't have anchor text. Now anchor text, I'll check later, but wait, let's try and fix a few other items. The 9 structured data items that are invalid, I can tell you are probably products where he started to fill in data but hasn't finished yet. So it's missing, for example, I don't know, a price or um, maybe. So structured data is basically, let me show you what structured data is. So basically, structured data is something like this. So let me go to the page that I was on. Uh, let's do this one, right? So what was that tool called that Google had? So it's rich snippet tool. It should still exist. Ages ago when we used to use it and play around with things like this. So rich snippet tool. It should still exist somewhere on Google's console. So yeah, I can just stick in the URL and I'll show you what the URL snippet looks like. Hopefully it'll bring up things. Give it a second to go and we'll see what happens. Okay. I'll give it a while to sort of work and I'll come back to what I need to check. So some pages don't have formatted. Okay, so there's another one that I can tell you I'm not going to fix, but it also doesn't need fixing based on his situation. So it says 449 pages need more than 3 clicks to be reached. That may or may not be true. Let me go back to what I was doing here before. So rich snippet code looks like this. So it's giving me one warning for this product that I used. It's saying that there's an issue with aggregate rating review field, and there's no global identifier like ISBN and stuff like that. So as you can see in the parentheses, it does say it's optional. So although it is giving you a warning, it doesn't mean that you need it. Now, the aggregate rating thing that it's giving us here, the error or the warning or whatever you want to call it, is actually the fact that the person on his website, because he doesn't, at least he hasn't yet, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't told people to go, go to my reviews page and leave a review for me. If he does that on every single product, and he's not allowed to do that himself, so don't put fake reviews in here. It's better that you go and tell a friend to do it, and they do it over time, so it's natural, so it looks natural to Google. It can't just find reviews um, immediately, like find 3,000 reviews, one on each page for each product that you have. But when you do this, that warning will go away, although it's not significant, because as Google shows you, it's actually optional if you want to do that or not. So when it says that rich snippet has errors, it's probably because something that it needs is missing. And it could be as simple as he didn't enter a price, he didn't enter a title, he didn't enter a description for the product, or he hasn't got any reviews yet, or star ratings. So the review bit, here's the text, if that makes sense. If somebody actually says, I bought this product and it's amazing, and then the aggregate rating would be a star rating, like a 5-star rating or a 3-star rating, whatever it is, right? So that's why you shouldn't care so much about that yet, unless it's a good thing to sort of check, but it doesn't mean that you need to do anything about it. If you want to do something about it, tell friends and people you know to go and leave reviews on your website for you. Okay, so that's one about rich snippets there. I hope that helped. Next thing, I'm closing up things that I don't really need right now. Hopefully I won't close up anything that's supposed to be open. So next thing, it does say, for example, that in one of his issues, it says that he only has one H1 tag. Where's that issue that I saw? Not the duplicate one, that's fine. I can figure those out. So metas don't have meta descriptions. 4 pages is too little text. One page doesn't have enough text within the title. Okay. So let's see. His permanent redirects, these are normal to have because he had an old website where his product name would have been, for example, uh, RF transmitters or his category name, and now suddenly that category has become broadcast in the link. So, for example, it used to be something like, let me just show you an example here. So, for example, if I go to the homepage real quick, right, and I just visit the site. Okay, so let's start here by saying that this broadcast category used to be called RF transmitters years ago, like in 2015 when I first started doing the site for him, when I switched it over from Magento to WordPress. Now this category is called broadcast. So when it says that it has some permanent redirects, that would be part of that. And it's not just categories, it's subcategories and subcategories of subcategories. So again, this isn't something I should fix or can fix because it is just what it is. He has old URLs from ages ago. Somewhere in the internet, somebody has a URL that's sort of Google's picking up and knows that these are now permanently redirected to something new, which is not something you potentially can fix, because unless you actually remember the old URL and you want that URL to be that name, like, so for example, if he didn't want this category to be called, I don't remember now, but just assume that I'm clicked on the broadcast category, although I'm gonna click on studios right now. But for example, if ages ago his broadcast category had a link like this, or if transmitters, right? Google knows about this, and it might even have references in his database about it at some point. But we redirected it in time to something called broadcast, or in today's situation, the broadcast category is actually where his homepage lives. He may call it a homepage, but if I click on anything here, like this would be if I were on his broadcast category. So this is now on broadcast, but it's on the 19-inch racks or whatever this category is now called. So if I were to go back one, let's see what it does. So let's go to the broadcast. Sorry, I wanted just to go to broadcast right now, right? Oh, and I mistyped the link. I'm gonna go. I have redirects to home for that. So broadcasts. I'm gonna guess so. Go to this again. Let's say, let's just say, okay. I went to 19 tracks, and you can see he's got a category that's still linked to RF transmission, but this used to be RF transmitters at some point. But anyway, let's go back to the category broadcast in the sense. See if there's a category that's called something like that. So this again has been redirected to his homepage because that used to be the URL for his broadcast page currently, which is also happens to be his homepage. So these redirects, I can't delete them because they exist as a reference in the database. The only way I could fix this is to tell him delete all your products, delete your website, and start from scratch, which isn't something we can realistically do. So that goes, that does that. That's that. You can't actually do anything about that. So now there's another one here that says that some internal links are blocked in the robot.txt file. And I'll show you what that actually means. As I showed you before, right? There's no actual links blocked in the robot.txt file. So for example, if I do robots.txt, right? There would be a link like this one here that says disallow something or other. Since there is no disallow links, but Semrush is giving us the message that some internal links are being blocked. I'll tell you what that is. Again, it's links that used to exist that don't exist anymore. Or, for example, when he was using what's it called, Yoast SEO instead of Rank Math, Yoast might have put a block on a specific URL because that URL was changed to something else, or something similar to that. So again, nothing you can do about this. Again, the 420 pages that are blocked from crawling, I don't even have to check which ones these are, because the fact that they're blocked means they had a name different than they do today, or they have been explicitly blocked by someone. For example, in WooCommerce, you don't want Google to specifically crawl your My Accounts page. So for example, if I go to this homepage again, and I go to the page that's called, I need to actually log out for this to show. So I'm gonna log out for a second. So if I log out right now, right, and I say go to the login page, you don't want this to be indexed at all. So yeah, I see an issue here with an URL somewhere, but I can fix that for him later. He did a rebrand, so I just noticed an issue here with this link being wrong here. I'll go and fix that. I'm just gonna jot it down so I don't forget later. I just know that I have to change it, so I'll have to remember to go look for it. Okay, that's one thing. So anyway, what I'm saying is you shouldn't need to index this page right here, or the register page, or whatever. Google doesn't need that. So some of them will be inherently blocked because of how WooCommerce works, because you also don't want it to index WP admin or pages that are significant to WordPress alone. So again, there's nothing you can do about these. The 449 pages that need more than 3 clicks to be reached is possibly, potentially, I don't have a list in front of me, but the assumption is, and I think I'm right about this, is that look, for example, at, let's see, he always uses audio processors. I think audio processors is a good example of this one. So for example, I can click through to audio processors, right? But potentially, because of how the URLs are generated, if I go to, let's see, do I have one where I have subcategories of subcategories? You see, for example, the audio processors, I can do AM, and then inside of that I can do another one. Um, I don't know if I have one where there's 3 levels, but he does have products that are 3 levels. I don't know. I don't remember his site that well anymore. That I would be able to find one right now with 3 levels in them. But in a sense, that's what it means when it says you need to reach. You need to click 3 links to get to a specific page, which it's fine. So, for example, I can do that on broadcast. I can click a product here. I'd go to the internal page of a product, and then I could potentially click the add to cart page. So yeah, or I could be going through a category and I would need to do 3 clicks to get to a subcat of a subcat, if that makes sense. So again, nothing specific that I can do about this. And I know people will come back and say, you're not even looking at the report and you're just making assumptions based on um, what you think might be wrong. But in reality, because I know how his site was built, I can already tell which of these can actually be fixed or not. So I'm gonna check this one next that says 60,053 links on this page don't have anchor text. Now, let me assume that because it reads every single page, I'm gonna assume that, for example, this is a link, and I'm assuming it doesn't have anchor text somehow. Let's see. Yeah, I'll check that in a second. Let's see if there's something else that I can sort of. Okay, so there's one link. It says that is an external link that contains a nofollow, and I can immediately tell you what that is. So let me go into incognito for a second, and then I'll go into broadcasters warehouse. I can't do it in mine because I've already clicked accept for the cookie bar thing. So usually plugins that do stuff for cookies, like the one on here, the links that are in this one are actually nofollow, if that makes sense. So I don't even have to check. It's this link. It's the cookie bar link, and it doesn't have to. And it might not be this link, the details link. It might be the one that shows you. I can't really move my little bar here, but if I click allow cookies, for example, there might be a link there that sort of links to Google and the policy to Google, and it just you don't want to follow back to Google, if that makes sense. and that's okay. So I'm ignoring that as well, right? Um, I have no idea where the subdomains is, and I can't find that automatically. I'll try and check. But for example, this one says there are 1,292 pages that have low text to HTML ratio. So that means that it it has more HTML than it does text, which may or may not be true. So for example, this page has like this number of text in it, but the HTML in it is much more to be able to generate all the blocks that are on here. So again, nothing to fix. It's just Semrush is being fussy about it because it's telling you, but Semrush might be looking at this website as a website in the sense that it doesn't understand specifically that it's a WooCommerce website. And even if it did understand that, it is basically giving you tips on what would be tips for a blog, which again, this isn't actually something you can fix unless you change the content of the website. And because the client can't actually change the spec or decide what to write unless he actually sits and writes um, different kinds of descriptions and adds more text and then describes the product in depth, that's not going to be fixed anytime soon. Um, okay. Structured data, I sort of showed you what's valid and what's not. I explained this one, and that if people add reviews, this error might go away. I explained this one before, which I didn't delete because I couldn't find it at the time. So now it says that there are two issues with duplicate titles. So let me just remove these that I've done, just so that I don't. So as I'm removing things, like it says that one page doesn't have enough text within the title tag. It's probably because he started adding a product and he didn't finish adding the title, or he just added 3 letters to the title, and therefore um, it's giving that error. It says that there are 4 pages that have too much text within the title. He might have written like a long title that says something like, I don't know, I can't, I don't want to go through all of these pages and sort of find titles, find long-winded titles. But for example, if I were to go to a product of his, like this one, it might just be that the title is too long based on, let me remove some random stuff that I don't need. So I don't care about stock or categories or tags or the date or whatever. For me, I don't really care. So I'm removing, I don't care about the brand either, or image type or dimensions or weight or download or video or SEO details. Sort of, no, actually SEO details, do I need that? Oh no, I don't need that. I don't need that. But I do need the SEO title, the description. I don't need the product type as much because I'm not looking at that right now. Um, and I also don't need shipping for now. This won't affect what he's seeing, it's just affecting what I'm seeing. But for example, for Google, this might be like too long as a title. Because he went in and he changed it because he thought that because he was seeing something like this in the output. So this is from rank math. It will find, this means go find the first like 270 characters in the product description and add that as a description. The client has gone in and it's typed in by hand, or I don't know how else, the descriptions that he wanted here. That's up to him. Rank Math could have done it for him. He assumed that these descriptions would be better for SEO, and good for him if he thinks that's better. I've no reservations. It's just that if you type in a title like this, Google might have like limits to how many characters you're supposed to actually have in the title, and he just went over the top, which is why he's getting the the errors that relate to there's too much text within a title text. So I'm ignoring that because I have to actually change the title, and I'm not going to because he's gonna. And that also solves this issue because he has to go and find the two specific products that have the same title here. Again, duplicate window descriptions. He might have put in the same description for specific products. For example, I don't know. For example, this description and this description look the same to me. I have no idea why they're the same or what the difference is between the two products, but they are literally the same product. So I don't really know what the issue is there, but that's also why he's getting specifically duplicate product titles and meta descriptions, obviously for the same reason. Um, Empty redirects, again, it's the SEO plugin. He had the URL of the privacy policy using a different sort of name, not in the title, but in the URL, and it became privacy policy, or there was a time where he changed the the link from RF transmitters to, like, I don't know, broadcast. So these are never going to go away in a sense. So I don't know where he has external images, to be honest. I think all the images on his website are actually his. I don't think he has external ones anyway. Um, these are Divi icons, I know that. These are images and products. It's very hard to find unless I had a specific instance where I could tell what these images are. This one, for example, all of his images are on his site, so it's really weird for me where there would be external images. But yeah, um, I'd have to find specific URLs to fix this one. Again, H1 and title 45 have duplicate H1 and title tags. Again, it's a thing that I showed that the products have like the same title, if that makes sense. External 5 external images are broken. I don't know what that would be and why that would be, if that makes sense. I'll have to go and find the duplicate H1s and duplicate images, but you can sort of tell from his products that he's added some URLs with the same name. It might be a different product. It might be product options because he sort of uh, broke the way grouped product works in WooCommerce so that it makes more sense to him how he should be adding group products and how his clients buy his products. So I can't really change that. The point of the whole tutorial wasn't to actually show you how, well, it was, I mean, but it was to show you how to fix these issues, but in a sense it's also sometimes there is no fix because of how either the client has decided things should work or because he's broken the he's broken the mold on how WooCommerce in this case specifically works. Now, for example, this one, 73 pages have only one internal link, and that's okay. Maybe in your case, it's enough for there to only be one internal link on a specific page instead of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. So it doesn't matter that it's giving you the error message. It's not as if you're going to be penalized because of it. People read a report and they think automatically they'll be penalized for every single thing um, that's happening, and that's simply not true. Period. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So okay, it's saying that there are subdomains. I don't know what subdomains these are. I would have to check. Let me see. I have access to Semrush, but he didn't get the report from his own Semrush. Somebody that has an actual license generated a report for him. So I'm gonna try and go and find um, the errors that I can't. Resources or format as page links. I don't know what that is, but okay. So let's do. I don't know if it's going to show me anything significant on this free version, because yeah. So actually on this side, for the pages that it's actually scanned so far, it hasn't given me the same errors. But for example, let's go to the one where it says that these are blocked in the robot text file, which I've explained before. But for example, it's saying that it's blocking an image Ajax uploader, which is something he might have had before when he was doing he has a pop-up when you log onto his website. You can register, and that loader thing, he has a email subscribe. That loader thing doesn't need to be indexed by Google because it's not actually part of, you know, any of his products or anything. So it's blocking it. But that's the plugin itself that's doing that, as well as WooCommerce blocking some CSS. So these issues that it's giving isn't actually something that needs fixing, because we don't want it to be able to crawl CSS files from specific plugins. It's logical that it's giving these errors. So again, most of the errors that he's getting are it's okay that Semrush is telling you, but it's not actually something that you need to fix, because it's logical that it's not indexing, for example, the CSS file of his filter, is what I'm saying, right? So let's see what else I can find in the issues list that I can sort of show you doesn't matter in a sense, you know. So let's see. It's obviously because I just so pages have loaded. So the loaded text to HTML ratio, I can show you a few samples here. It says that this one has a low, and you can click here on Semrush and it will tell you to fix stuff. So it says that split your web page text contents into separate files and compare their size. If the size of the code file exceeds the size of the text file, which is obvious because, to be honest, the text loaded on a page and the code required for it to run, like for example, right, you've got this page, the home page. For example, I'm just gonna give a sample here. So let's go to the home page, right? I'm gonna tell you a small little lie here, but it's so that you can understand what it's actually looking at. So I'm just gonna say that, for example, there's 4,000 characters on this page, right? So keep that number in mind, 4,000. Then the code to generate all of this, the price, the sales price, the brand name, the header of the title, the image, and all this, you know, the footer, the header, and all this kind of stuff is way more than 400 characters in terms of code, right? The code could be 10,000. So that is another reason why this isn't a valid issue. Yeah, my sound's back on. So okay. So what I'm saying is, not all issues are actually necessarily require a fix or need to be fixed by anyone specifically, because it's just how things work, right? That's actually wrong, because, to be honest, it is in the file. It just hasn't read it. Let's see what it says. Specify the location of your sitemap. Check if the Google Copilot can index the file, which I've done already, and it is working. It's just that it hasn't picked it up yet, or whatever. It's not picking it up, but it is there, so it is wrong in that sense. Let's see if I can find anything else I can automatically tell you how to fix here. So let's see if I can. That's fine. 19 images don't have alt tags. So this again, see what these 19 images are, just to be sure, because the product images or the images in the library do have alt tags. So let's just see what it says here. So again, the images it's referencing is actually images from plugins. I have no idea what this is. But if this image is not loaded on the site, like I'm assuming these images, for example, I can tell you because some of them are plugin images, aren't being loaded on the website. So yes, obviously, um, the rank math plugin won't go and add alt attributes because that image is never sort of loaded or standard in the library, because it's coming from like the inside of a plugin. So there is no reason to fix that again. Um, And actually, if I go to this image, I don't even know if it exists. It does exist, but again, not something necessarily something I need to fix. And I can't add alt tags to this because, simply put, it's external to a plugin. Unless I go and I customize the plugin's code, which I'm not going to because a developer could go and update the plugin and still the image won't have an alt tag. Next. Let's see. Oop. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So let's go back to where I was here, looking at issues. Um, looking at issues here. Is there anything else I can fix right now? Sitemap, issues blocked by internal text. Again, I showed you that internal one. Let's see, links don't have anchor text. Let's see what this one says. So let's see. I don't know what these links are. It's probably products. I don't know. Let's see. What is this? What is this link here? It's a product, but it doesn't have an anchor link. This product might not even exist anymore. Okay, it does. I'm guessing it's some kind of oh, you know what it is? Because it's a product option, I'm assuming it's looking for an anchor link here. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah. So it might be looking for an anchor link here, but that's just how the theme is built. It's not going to find an anchor link because in this case, this isn't a link that goes anywhere. It's just a clickable product option thing. So again, and even if uh, this wouldn't be anchored anywhere, because anchor links are basically links that are linked somewhere in the content, and this one isn't. It just happens to be a product. So what I'm saying, it doesn't mean because you have an issue with Semrush that it's an issue you actually need to fix. What else? Let's go to the site audit thing again and see what we can find. You get my point though. So by reading some of these, I already know that I don't need to fix them because you basically can't, if that makes sense, because of how things sort of work. And some of them will be blocked because, yeah, why does it say block? It's probably because it can't scan it. That's what the block means. It doesn't mean what I thought it would mean. Okay. Because he's on the free thing, it can't. Because this page, I'm sure, already exists. So for sure, this page exists. And it's not blocked from scanning. So if I go to edit page, I can tell that it's not blocked by just looking at it. But let's make sure. So in your SEO plugin, you can block pages from being crawled. Let's see if he blocked it by mistake here. Did he block it? Don't care about what the SEO says there. I just need to check the indexing. This page will not appear in search results. You can disable the no index in the advanced. This page will not appear in search results. So why is it blocked? Let's see. Why did he say don't index this? That's bullshit. You should index your contact page, yeah? So I'm updating that. So I don't know why he would no index his contact page. That's stupid. He probably thought that would stop people from spamming, but that's not a real thing. So yeah. Let's see what else. So you see sometimes the error is actually correct. So let's try and see what he's got that's no index. Oh, I've got so many of these open right now. So let's see what else is not indexed. Is his contact us I fixed. Cart, you don't have to index. User login, you don't have to. So some of his top category pages are blocked. Let's check why. So I'm just gonna go to each and every one and I'm gonna check if he blocked it by mistake. So I'm gonna say edit page. Okay, so you see, for example, he went in and he edited the snippet, which is wrong because if he left it alone, it would have picked up rank maths you know what rank math has added in the system. So I'll have to just change it now, and I'm just gonna steal this. I'm gonna say okay. I don't know why he goes in and changes stuff manually when it would have worked just fine if he left rank math to do the job. But anyway, oh yes, I'm gonna capitalize this as well. That's what it would look like. Okay. The thing is, he went and he manually changed it. So now rank maths is not picking up the usual default stuff that it should. So okay, I've changed that, and I'm assuming it will save itself. And I'm just gonna update that. I was gonna check if he had by mistake again put this to no index, because there would be no reason for him to no index this. Yeah, it's on index, so that's fine. That's fine. Okay. I'm just going through his categories and trying to fix things. So I'll just go through his top level ones because those were the ones that Semrush were giving as no index. And actually his contact page was on no index. I don't know why, but okay. People shouldn't be fiddling with things they don't understand, but I guess it is what it is. So let's go to the next thing. Next top level cat, as he calls them. Let's go to television, which was another link that was saying that it was blocked from indexing. Let's see why. Easy enough to fix. Let's see if he went in and changed the title for this as well, which is now becoming a thing. Let it just load for a second here. This is long-winded, but I wanted to show people that not everything is like requires a fix. So again, he somehow said no index here. You just index and you leave that there. Let's see if there's no reason for these top level category pages to not be indexable, if that makes sense. So I've done the no index thing. Let's see his actual SEO stuff on the general side. Has he went in and mucked around with the... No, that's fine. Okay, it's fine. Update. Going to the next top level category, which for some reason, again, he's changed. So he somehow went in and ticked the no index box for, I don't know what reason, but okay. Let's go to the next top level category, if that makes sense. Because now Google will be able to index these top level category pages, which he wants indexed because he actually wants the products to be indexed into Google. So I have no idea why someone would go in and put in the no index here. So actually, you see, Semrush did give us a correct result. It's not about skipping as much as checking that you don't need to do anything. The ones that I skipped, I already know why it's happening because I sort of know how the site's built, right? So again, this should be indexable, not no index. Thank you very much. Update. Okay. I didn't change any descriptions on the top level categories or anything because I want rank math to sort of do that for me. But as soon as you go and manually change stuff like the title, the meta description stuff, you sort of overwrite rank math's configuration. So yeah, I was at TVs. Let's go to studio. I think I checked studio, but I'm going to recheck it anyway. Edit page here again. Doo -doo -doo. I shouldn't be working on a Sunday, but I just thought this would be a fun challenge. And because, I explained this multiple times to multiple clients, sometimes it's just, I'd suggest to leave this alone because hopefully, unless he manually, you see, these don't actually mean you need to do anything because this is gonna get the rank math default thing going. Although I didn't want him to muck with this, and I don't think, yeah, that he had to do anything about this. So anyway, let's see if he still has the no index issue here as well. He's got it on index, so this is indexable. It's fine. I don't even have to do anything here. And this was studio. I must have done it before and just forgot it because I've been going back and forth and I just keep forgetting what I'm doing. Let's go to software. This was one that also said that it wasn't being indexed. Let's see why. I'm sure he's got the no index thing ticked again, which he shouldn't, because if you click that, you're telling Google that you don't want this page to be indexed, which is a lie, because we do want it to be indexed. So just go to advanced here on rank math, and he said Google shouldn't index it, which is wrong. Google should index this. Thank you very much. And update. Lucky I went in and checked the no index. I just assumed you wouldn't put in the no index tag, but somebody must have manually went in and said don't index this, which is insane to me, but okay. That's just me. So software is done as well. These are actual WordPress pages, so that's why I don't know why he wouldn't want it to index. Let's just check though. Edit page again. I would suggest people just leave things alone, but people just don't. Let's see. So I've opened up rank math. I'm checking the index thing. Again, he's got it not to index, which is insane to me. Update. These will go away in Semrush when it does its next scan. But it was basically telling Google not to index these top level categories as he calls them, which is not what he wanted. I don't know how he got to doing that, but okay. I'm gonna actually go and check rank math as well, just in case he did something there as well in the settings. So what I did was components. I think I did components. Yeah. Is that what I was doing before? Was I doing components? Let me see. Yeah, I was doing components. That's great. Okay, so now I know where I was. Okay, that's fine. So last but not least, obviously, I'm going to do use gear here. I'm actually going to go to other pages as well to sort of check that they're indexing. So again, this one, used gear, edit page. I don't know why he would not index pages, but okay, let's just check these. No, sorry, not the right one. Advanced. He's got this to not index as well, which is insane. Update, please. Actually, I have to go to his footer now and make sure that he has not done the same thing on his other pages, which are footer pages. Let's see. So it's got a few here that I have to do. So support, whatever he calls this, privacy policy, glossary. I'm just opening them in new tabs so that I can do them. Let me just minimize this just a tad for a second so that I can get to this. And then I'm bringing it back to normal size. Just because I have the recording on the end here. So let's make sure his privacy policy can be indexed. Again, just hit advanced here. And again, he's got it so that it's not indexed, which is insane. I don't know why he would do that, but okay. If you want to hide a product, that's one thing, but I mean, you don't hide your pages from Google. That's just not right. Edit page, I don't know, this is the glossary. I don't know why you would hide these kind of things. You need these pages to be indexed, so I don't know why you would hide them. Google's not going to pick this up unless you tell it to. Well, actually, the default option is to be indexed, so I don't know why he did what he did here. So just going to go here to advanced and just say index this because it should. I'm just updating here. That's basically it. Terms and conditions should be indexed for sure. But yeah, that's basically how you make sure a page, when it says that it's not being indexed, you might have set it through your SEO plugin to not be indexed, which I don't know why you would do that, but I guess. Why would you not want your terms and conditions to be indexed? I don't understand. So update. And that's that. So those errors will disappear in Semrush sooner or later. I'm not gonna, let's do this page as well. I don't know what this is. Support page it says. Okay. Tell me what I'm looking at. I need to look at this and check the index thing. Index, please. Update. That's that. Like, it makes sense that that's what I would do, right? All good. So I fixed a few of these. I did the contacts beforehand. Nothing to fix there. Yeah. So, okay. What else? Is there anything else I should check, I guess? I don't know what the external images are. I'm guessing he had loaded images somewhere that weren't his and it's been broken, which is this error relates to these 5 images. So I'm ignoring this. 8 pages have more than one H1 tag. I don't know which 8 pages those are, so I'm gonna just assume that it's this one. Let's see. It seems like it would be these kind of pages. Okay, so this is what H is this? This is an H1. Is this an H1 as well? It's an H2. So the thing is, the reason I checked if it was an H1 is because in Divi you can actually say use an H1 tag, but then change the font size. So it doesn't necessarily mean that by looking at it you would know which H it was. I don't know which product this is, but this is one of those areas that I have to look into. So I'm leaving the ones that I'm going to look into and that I can't just see a fix by looking at them right now. This is a speed thing. These I'd have to go and find what these external ones are. This is fine. This I'll have to go and look into. have no anchor text. These links are from the images inside. I can't really fix any of that. Yes, some of the resources are pages because it's not a blog, it's an actual website with products on it. So yeah. So these are the 5 that I'm gonna leave so that I can fix myself. Just by looking at these. But other than that, it was sort of a video just to show you guys how to um, you know, how to read a report without stressing about every single error that exists, because not all of them need fixing or can be fixed based on the situation of how the page was built. And that's about it, basically.